What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Career Mode. This is episode number 12, and we start today's episode off here with some training drills. As you can see right now, Loftus-Cheek is getting 4 out of the 5 drills allocated to him. The other one right now is Obiolare. And what I'm going to do with the training this year, guys, is because I'm just getting used to it right now, is focus most of the drills on one player. But he won't get all the training like every season, all season. So right now, Loftus-Cheek is getting the most exposure, which is, I think, deserved considering how good the start to his season has been. But next season, for example, I'll make sure I vary up a little bit, just to make sure other players can get a little bit used to the drills, and some more players can get some exposure as well. Because it's great to train one player up and everything, don't get me wrong, Loftus-Cheek is going up like so many ratings already, and it's great to see that and everything. But I do want to give some other players more exposure as well. But for the time being, we'll keep it on Loftus-Cheek, but next season onwards, we will start to vary up a little bit and choose different players as well. Still, we take on Sunderland for the first game of today's episode here, episode number 12 of Career Mode. And I have to say as well, before we go into the game and before I start commentating properly, I am loving this series right now, and I really hope you guys are as well, because this is genuinely so fun for me, and you can probably tell my voice, I'm having so much fun with this, and I'm so glad a lot of you guys are enjoying it as well. I really do believe this could be one of my best series ever. But regardless, it's not my best start to the game ever in this one. Sadly for us, Lens puts Sunderland in front in the first half, and Seb Larsson doubles the lead on the stroke of half time. The Swedish midfielder curls in a free kick and makes it Sunderland 2, Watford 0. That was a really good strike by Larsson, but have to say, I think Butland might be a little bit disappointed with that one. It's a good strike and everything, but Butland doesn't get across very quickly. His footwork, if you will, would be criticised if this was real life. He was very, very slow to get across to the side of his goal decks. It wasn't right in the corner. It wasn't with too much power. It wasn't, it wasn't right next to the post. It was a good height for him to get to. It wasn't too close to the post. I think Butland will be disappointed he didn't get anywhere near that one. But Larsson does double the scoring, and Sunderland at half-time were dominating. 4 shots, 3 of which on target, 64% possession compared to our 0 shots and 36% possession. So in the second half, we had to change things up and try and get ourselves back in the game. Otherwise, we will be getting ourselves only our second defeat of the season. As Loftus-Cheek gets on the ball here, he slides it through towards Troy Deeney. Deeney takes it around his man, plays it back inside towards Loftus-Cheek, offloads it towards our right back, and Leon puts it past the goalkeeper and makes it Sunderland 2, Watford 1. What a lovely team goal that was as well. Really, really nice build-up to that one. Loftus-Cheek receives the ball, gets himself an assist for Naom, getting his second goal of the game. Really nice finish there to put it past the goalkeeper, and it's Sunderland 2, Watford 1. And that was how the game would finish. Sadly for us, Sunderland 2, Watford 1 was the final score. It was genuinely one of the most uneventful games of the season so far, despite there being 3 goals. There really were only 3 proper chances in the entire game. There were some half chances for both sides, but to be honest, not really much other than that. So, pretty poor game in all honesty, despite the 3 goals. But Sunderland did come through with the win. Very disappointed with that, and of course it does mean now we've lost for a second time this season. And, don't get me wrong, like, we were always going to lose again after the City game, but either way, it's been a great undefeated run, but sadly it ends there. We lose at the Stadium of Light for the second time this season, and unfortunately for us, we do taste defeat with Watford once again. Still following out some more training drills, and also as well, I went to the national team job office section of the game as well. I had so many comments from you guys saying, please take the Canada job. That wasn't just all the comments there, those are the only ones I can fit into the video, but I had so many comments saying, please take the Canada job. So that's it, I've done it. We're taking the Canada job, guys. It's done. I've accepted it, and I looked at this squad and I was thinking, oh my goodness, what have I got myself into? No disrespect to any Canadian fans out there. I obviously have quite a few of them, which is a bit of a surprise, but hello to my Canadian fans. Yeah, Canada, like, this is not a good squad. This is going to be an unbelievable challenge, but do you know what? I think this is going to make this series even better. We've got a good side story here. In my career modes, this is the first one of mine you've watched, I always take an international management offer at some stage, but quite often it's a big country like England or France or Germany or Spain. I've had obscure nations before. The most notable one is South Korea, but this has got to be the worst nation I've managed, or at least I can remember. I mean, it's a 3-star nation. I don't know how many of the players have any potential whatsoever, but yeah, Canada, I've taken the job, and this is going to be unbelievable, man. It's going to be such a fun side story, though. My hope with Canada is I can get them to a World Cup. I don't know how long I'll be there. I don't know how long they'll want to keep me there. But if I can get Canada to a World Cup, I don't think I'll do anything with them in the World Cup. But if I can just get them to a World Cup, I'm going to be absolutely delighted. But now, also as well, if you are a new viewer to my channel as well, when it does come down to international management, I usually only play tournament games and simulate qualifiers and friendlies. But for Canada, what I'm going to do is play qualifiers but simulate friendlies. So I'll play the qualifiers but simulate the friendlies. But still, taking on Cardiff for the second game of today's episode here. This is a Capital One Cup quarter-final stage. The first chance fell to us, but David Marshall made a pretty simple save from that header and kept it at 0-0. And in the 18th minute, the Championship side had their first chance of the game. Ken Wynne-Jones gets on the ball for Cardiff and gives it off to his teammate Gunnarsson, who strikes it, but it hits the post and goes behind for a goal kick. So still 0-0 in this game. I think Gomez had that one covered. Still 0-0 though, but in 27th minute, a good chance again for us here as Barber goes forward. Said it once again, say it before. This guy's got flair, this guy's got pace, this guy's got some trickery, but he has not got an end product. He is still searching for his first goal of the season, and that sort of run there summed him up really. Still 0-0 though, but in the 38th minute, another good chance for us here. Namari Gray's shot, well saved by David Marshall. Eventually it comes to Barbo, the cross comes in, and Cardiff get the ball away. So still goalless in this game as we went in search of the first goal of the game. At half-time, we dominated possession and were looking the brighter of the two sides, but it was still goalless as things stood. But 4 minutes after the restart, a great chance for us to open the scoring here. Victory Barbo slides it through towards Igalo. Brilliant through ball by the Nigerian. Plays it inside towards Obiolari. Tries to put David Marshall off. Doesn't succeed in doing so. Marshall makes the save, but it falls right back to Olare. And that is a really, really simple finish. He came off the bench to score twice against West Ham in the previous round to get us here. But this goal, you know, I mean, I started him from the beginning in this game, and he wasn't looking too good in the game. He was looking a little bit lethargic, to be honest. But once he got played forward there, tried to put Marshall off, didn't succeed in doing so. Marshall made the save, but he gets to the rebound. Very, very lucky goal, that one. And it's Cardiff 0, Watford 1. Gerardo almost scored our first free kick goal of the series there from a mile out, but Marshall made a good save and kept it at 1-0 to Watford. And in the 76th minute, another good chance for Cardiff to get themselves back in the game and equalise, but Gomez makes a really good save and keeps us in front. One of the final chances would fall here, but Sebastian Prodl's header goes wide of the post and behind for a goal kick, and it was how the game would finish as well. Final score in Wales, Cardiff 0, Watford 1, and we are through to the Capital One Cup semi-final. Once again, Olari is the hero for us, and we go through to the semi-finals of this competition, so absolutely delighted about that. Now, I said at the start of the season, the Capital One Cup, I was not fussed about whatsoever, but now we're into the semi-finals, you know, I'm definitely going to start playing a lot more first-team players, let's just say that. I mean, it's a two-legged tie, the semi-finals, of course. Definitely going to start playing more first-team players. You know, can we win the Capital One Cup in our first season? You know, I said it before, it's unlikely, but it's not impossible. But we're doing our best regardless, and I'm glad to have got to the semi-finals. You know, I think Gomez will keep his place in the team in the goal in goal for us, but I will definitely make some changes. But either way, really pleased to have got to the semis, and that was a good 1-0 victory for us. And still taking on Liverpool for the third and final game of today's episode here. Liverpool come to Vicarage Road, still undefeated at home this season in all competitions. Our two losses of the season have come against City away, and of course at the start of the episode, Sunderland away as well. So right now, Vicarage Road is just a fortress, and we want to keep it that way for as long as possible. We take on Liverpool for the third game of today's episode here, the third and final one of today's episode. First chance would fall to us in the 39th minute. Bertrand Traore cuts past Alberto Moreno and goes for goal, but he's denied by the Belgian goalkeeper Mignolet, who turns behind for a corner, so good save there. In the 41st minute, Sturridge gets on the ball for Liverpool as they go in search of the first goal of the game. He's held up by Etienne Capoue, but eventually he gives it inside towards James Milner inside the area here. Milner gives it back to him, then back to James Milner. The former City man goes for goal, but Butler makes a good save, and eventually Benteke is dispossessed by our right back, and it is still goalless. Half time, as you could see, pretty balanced stats, but it was still goalless as things stood. But 8 minutes after the restart here, Liverpool had the first chance of the second half. Sturridge runs over this free kick, and Benteke goes for goal with a weaker left foot from the free kick there, but he puts it over the bar and behind for a goal kick. Not sure why he went with a weaker left foot there, but it was still 0-0. However, as Traore finds Troy Deeney here, we would open the scoring in the 66th minute. Our skipper opening the scoring 21 minutes after the restart here. Of course, Troy Deeney would grab the goal. You know, I said in the last episode, Loftus-Cheek is getting most of the attention in this series right now. No real surprise, but you cannot understate the importance of our captain, Troy Deeney. It is another goal for our skipper, who has had such a great start to the season, but what a defensive mistake from Liverpool. They had a throw in, they gave it back to the centre-back, he's dispossessed, it's won back by Traore, gives it inside to Deeney, and that is just such an easy goal. I mean, seriously, that is, you know, we've played against the AI on Legendary, and that is just, you know, that was amateur stuff. That was so poor. Easy goal there. Traore with the assist, and Deeney with his 9th goal of the season makes it Watford 1, Liverpool 0. But in the 75th minute, a great chance for Liverpool to equalise, and sadly they would. And what a goal it was as well through Daniel Sturridge, scoring with his weaker right foot, and the former Chelsea man puts Liverpool back on level terms with just under 14 minutes of normal time to play. Loftus-Cheek gives the ball away. The first time he's made a real big mistake that's led to a goal in this series. He gives it away. Liverpool get themselves inside the area. And how about that for a strike by Daniel Sturridge? Maybe I should have stood him up with Nathan Ake there instead of going for to ground. But either way, that is a brilliant strike by Daniel Sturridge. And sadly, he does rescue a point for Liverpool. So final score, Watford 1, Liverpool 1. Disappointing not to hold on for a big 3 points there against Liverpool. But obviously, they are a pretty decent side. It was going to be a tough game regardless. We are still undefeated at home. Only 2 losses all season long in all competitions. We'll take the positives. We got ourselves a goal. We could have won it if it wasn't for a poor piece of play from me in the centre of the park, giving it away with Loftus-Cheek. We get ourselves a point. It's not a bad result, and we will take that. But that does end the episode, guys. So thank you very much for watching the video. Really hope you have enjoyed it. If you have enjoyed today's episode of Career Mode, then please do leave a like, and I will see you for the next episode of Career Mode very soon.